And welcome. I'm Roxanne Glauser, Content Director here at Whirly Derb and an incessant doodler. I love to draw. And today what I'm going to be sharing with you is how to draw a red barn. You know, it is fall and we've been working on our scarecrows. And we're adding some things in the background, and one of the things that really is a nice addition to a scarecrow scene, you know, this one's in a potted plant, but it's really nice to have a little red barn in the background. So here is our inspiration for today's barn. A couple things I want you to notice before we draw. We're going to draw it a little bit different perspective of this. But notice we've got some little straight lines coming down here on either side. And then we're going to have this 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to kind of angle in. It's going to come up here. We've got another obtuse angle here at the top. We're going to put just one window in it, one door here, a couple windows on the side, and we're going to put a little slant on it, a little fake perspective. So you'll be excited when you see this little barn. Don't get stressed out. This is not a lesson on how to draw a barn in details. This is just me show you if you want to put a little barn behind your scarecrow, you're going to have the skills to do it. So I am going to pop over here. Let's switch so you can see this little, we saw the barn we looked at. Now I'll show you my little barn that I drew. Told you it's really going to be simple. So, and what we're doing is this little miniature scene. It's very tiny. It's on a little 4th sheet of paper, because when you drew your scarecrow is going to be nice and big on your main sheet of paper, and so we want to practice drawing a little tiny barn. So we're going to draw the barn. I'm going to quickly, I'll do the pumpkins in a separate video. So I'm going to do the barn, and I'll show you some techniques on sky and on ground. How about that? That'll get us going today. So let me get out of the way because it is time to draw. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to add the pumpkins on because I'll do a separate little video for that. So here we go. We're going to be doing this barn, and notice mine's a little crooked there. Doesn't matter. It's not the main point of our drawing. So what we're going to do, remember that nice big barn we saw in our picture? Let's see. What I'm going to do is, it kind of had this shape. I'm going to just sketch a little. I'm going to start kind of with a square. I did that very lightly. I did a square because I think what I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to take off the top of it very gently, and then I'm going to come up a little bit, and then come in a little more. Remember how we counted on that? We had 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'll darken this just a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is going to be in the kind of the background. So what you're going to do is this line is going to slant down a little bit. You'll notice up here's the horizontal of the top of paper and the bottom of it. What we want to do is you want to kind of curve it back just a little bit. We're going to kind of curve it down, and then we're going to have this line that connects it. Okay. Just comes back just a tiny little bit. You can look at that a couple times. But as I said, this is just not the main part of our picture. So we're going to do quick sketches. I'm going to put some little rectangles. Yours might be like little rectangles or squares coming along the side of it. Remember we saw those little, see the hayloft part? So I'm going to put a little square there. I'm just going to put a little X in it. And down here, you remember like old MacDonald on the farm. I'm just going to put, and sometimes they have little X's on the doors too. So I'm just putting some big doors there. And sometimes there might be a little road that comes out of it. Simple, simple little barn. Okay. So while you're drawing on that, I want you to look at it. This part down here is kind of like half a rectangle. And then just come in a little bit. And up here, it's just up and down. It's like an upside down V. So what you're going to do is you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Down here, part of that rectangle. And then for this part, don't go straight across. Just bring it down just a little tiny bit. See how it slants down a little bit? This one's going to slant back up a little bit. This one slants up a little bit. Now back here, don't come straight down, make that line tilt out just a bit. See, look, this would be straight up and down. I want you to tilt it back. Look at that, that's a cool looking little barn you got there. Very simple, that's what we want, a simple little barn. And with our barn, you might want to put these little tiny trees. You're like, those look like lollipop trees. They're just, if you want them to be more like you can do little triangles if you want. Color them in green, there you go. Or if you'd rather have some of the ones that are kind of poofy, you could just do a big round kind of poofy little tree if you want that kind of tree with your barn. You can put one back here. You can actually tuck it behind your barn. A little bit of tree that's tucked behind it. However you want to do that, perfectly fine. Then we're going to take and we're going to have a horizon line. You know how we've been working on talking about horizon lines. What you don't want to do, don't just draw it down here at the bottom. I know the ground is at the bottom, but you can move this line up. I'm going to move mine about halfway up. I'm going to stop and hop if I run into anything. And so there's my little horizon line behind my barn. And there we have a quick little sketch. If you wanted to put a little fence behind your barn, you just come in with another little line that kind of matches it. And then you would just put, actually if you wanted to, you can make that look like grass. And then just put some vertical lines coming up and down. Little trick, it looks like railroad tracks, doesn't it? But if you put it behind your barn, it's going to look like a fence. So here we go. So let's do a quick, and just sketch in some of those. Those are not perfect trees. Just go ahead and sketch one in there. Sketch one in maybe behind it. So what we're doing now is we are going to do a quick color on this barn. Our main color for the barn, and this is what gives us you immediately know it's the barn, and that's going to be your reds. And I've been reminding all my friends to test your colors before you actually put it on your paper. So here I'm going to test my two reds. I like that one. I like that one too. I'm going to use the one that's just a little bit brighter, and I'm not going to do anything fancy on this barn. I am just going to come in here. I'm going to color it quickly but neatly. I'm going to add that in. All right, so see, I'm going to come in, have that on here, come in back here. Uh-oh, I forgot to use my markers first. Y'all know that. I always remind you boys and girls to use your markers, and I forgot. Let me add my markers before I finish up. I do like a style of drawing that I like to do. I like to go ahead and give myself the outlines. I do different styles of drawing, but whenever I'm coloring, I like to have those nice dark lines. And I'm being very careful here because once you've added your crayon, you can gum up your markers. So I'm trying not to get it on the tip of my Sharpie. And when you're actually finishing your work, you're gonna go a lot slower, and you can stop the video and look at it and figure out how you want to add yours. This way you'll actually be able to see my lines a little bit better there. Nice. I might pull that angle down a little bit more. But remember, it's ish. Okay? I am going to add some ground. Well, let's do our trees first. Our trees, it is in the fall, so there might be a little bit of green in them, maybe a little bit. But you know what? I'm going to make nice fall kind of trees. There, it is when they turn orange and red and yellow. So you can have fun with that, whatever color you want to make those. Lots of different colors of leaves in the fall. Sometimes there's a little bit of grass left. I'm going to put a little bit of green up here. Maybe there's a little bit beside the road. Maybe there's a little bit of tiny grass. And then here is one of my favorite 2 tricks to share with you. One is whenever I'm coloring a large area, I like to put a newspaper underneath it, and then I also like to use the sides of crayons. So here's the side of my crayon. Here's your regular crayon. Here's one of those little fat ones. I love to take those, peel the paper off. Here we go. And what I'm going to do is, look at this, nice. I can take this and I can actually get, and I covered it over my little road. I'm going to come and add that back in. And I do this because sometimes I like to get that smoothness in. And you can press the ends of your markers, your crayon. See how I'm doing that? You can also come around the edges of it, do a little bit extra there. Careful, see how I bent my paper? I was going a little too fast, so make sure you slow down, boys and girls. So there's my one color. Add in some. Here we go. Now I'm going to add a little bit darker path. Here's my little road that's coming out. You can do that. If you want to add other little details. And what I like to do is I like to look at books in the library and find other little textures and things to add to it. But see, you can do that. That's something, it's harder to do that with a marker. I really like to do that with my crayons. Now for the sky. I'm going to show you a sky. Because when you're doing your scarecrow one, you might want a really nice background. Again, these are my Fast Sky crayons. Uh-oh, that one's purple. Glad I checked. I didn't want purple. Oh, that's a pretty good blue. It's about the same. And then here's my lighter blue. Okay, I think I'm going to take these 2. And so here's how we're going to do the same thing we did with the ground with the sky. I'm going to turn it sideways. I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to scooch down. And the first thing, see how I'm doing this? I'm going to go right around it. I'm pretty hard pressure. Oh, that's kind of fun. Look at that. Oh, so if you just wanted it to be light blue like that, you have those beautiful blue fall skies. You just do a little bit like that. If you want to, you can layer color. It's the other thing I like to do with the crayons. Oh, that's kind of nice. Okay, so there we have just a nice, simple, plain background. Well, there's another author that I love, Dave Piltney, and he always does designs in his sky, and I love that idea. So I'm going to take, this is a light blue color, and now what I'm doing is I'm just making this little abstract design. Some of his books, I know Dragon's Halloween is one we're going to be reading next month, and I love how he does these skies. They all have this little design in them. So go ahead and experiment with that. You don't have to just color it solid blue, but notice I did my background very neatly, and then I'm coming in on top of it. So then you're going to get this really cool kind of modern effect that you can do. So you can fill in, and those are just little circles that I filled in with. And I did it very quickly, so there are my 2 little barns. You can see I kind of like that one, a little more angle on it. Uh-oh. And don't forget to be sure and sign your artwork. So let me get my signed on there. There I am. Notice I kind of like those different trees. Look at that compared to those trees. Well, those are a couple things that you can do with your barn. And like I said, remember, this is going to be a part of your scarecrow drawing. So love, love, love this. So now I want to thank you so much for joining me today. I hope it's not frustrating for you. Remember, this lesson is just how to draw a quick barn. We're going to do others where I show you and go slowly about how to draw a house or a cottage or a barn. But for right now, you just want it to look barn-ish. Well, I hope those scarecrow drawings are coming along well. And remember, we've got other videos. I'll show you how to draw sunflowers and corn stalks and fall leaves and the pumpkin video, so you can have all those details to make one fabulous drawing. Thank you so much. I hope to see you again soon. Bye-bye.